Hi, I'm Matt Bubala here with another Fountain Report conversation. We're joined today by John Hydrusko. He is the Vice President for DVM 360 and the Fetch Conferences. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
There is a ton of continuing education available these days, a ton of in-person continuing education available these days. What makes the Fetch Conferences so different from everything else?
I love this question. We've been talking about it at the office a lot these days, and for us, it comes down to a sense of community connection, collaboration. You know, when you look at the options that learners have out there these days, there's plenty of them. But for us, we want to make sure that we cater to our learners' needs. I mean, when you look at what we're doing with Fetch in particular, focusing in on and honing in on the intimate experience, making sure that the learners walk away with that top line takeaway that they can put into practice the next day, the day after. They can coach their team members on what they learned at Fetch. That's where we really focus in on, is actionable education.
Everybody always wants to be bigger. Everybody, whether it's ego, financial reasons, whatever it is, but you mentioned the word intimacy, and that is associated with the Fetch shows. They're not 35,000, they're around 2,000 people a lot of times. Why is that important for the people here, but also for the sponsors that help put these on?
Yeah, sure. I think it goes back to the core of what we were talking about before. Having a more intimate setting allows folks to make more meaningful connections. When you look at our sessions, you might have 100 to 200 learners in the room. It fosters a sense of engagement between the learners and the faculty themselves, where the learners will oftentimes hang out for 5 minutes to 30 minutes after the session, just mingling with the faculty, picking their brain a little bit more. So that's from the learner's perspective. And then for interacting with the industry partners and supporters that help us make this happen, it's all about ratio for us. You don't want, well, at least we don't want to have the sea of exhibitors where you get lost. It can be very overwhelming for certain attendees to come. Here we limit the number of exhibitors and sponsors that come to our show to maximize on the impact and the interactions that they wind up having. And we find that that makes it much more meaningful for both parties.
You have 5 conferences now, you've got a lot of publications, webinars almost every day of the week. What's next for Fetch and DVM 360?
When you look at the portfolio, we're fortunate enough that we are a powerhouse, that we've got strong conferences and we've got strong media brands, and we're focusing in on bringing those two worlds together. Right now, our latest venture is making sure that our learners know about Fetch On Demand. So Fetch On Demand is recorded sessions coming from the Fetch conferences. Previously, you only had access to that when you came to Fetch. However, now we know that learning dynamics are changing and we must cater to the learners. So we're starting to offer sessions coming out of the Fetch program to our learners on demand a week or 2 weeks after the fact that that comes out. Our podcasting is also becoming quite robust, as you've participated in some of the podcasts with us over the last several months. So there's a few other things that are in the hopper that I'm not quite ready to share yet, but those are some of the areas that we're focused in on.
So let's say you're in an elevator with 20 veterinary professionals and they're trying to figure out, what conferences are we going to attend this year? What is literally your elevator pitch to why they should attend Fetch?
I would say the elevator to come to Fetch, first and foremost, it's all about the quality. The quality of the education is fantastic. Next, I would say, is the access to the faculty. I mean, the faculty here that come to our programming, top notch, best in class, right? You have access to them. They're so committed and embedded into the DNA of everything that we do. They make themselves accessible to make sure that you've got all your questions answered and you get those pieces of actionable education to put into practice the very next day. We tend to have some fun. There's always parties going on, and of course, you have the food. People always talk about the food. And, you know, tying it back to one of my first points was the sense of community. I would have to say that that's unmatched at our shows compared to any other show.
John Hydrusko, Vice President at DVM 360 and the Fetch Conferences. Thank you so much for being with us. This is another Fountain Report conversation. I'm Matt Bubala. We'll see you next time.